Hello, I'm Allan Stenhouse. I'm the creator of Last Chance's Expendable Assets. This story came about because I wanted other characters to feature in the follow-up to Damnation Eternal, the Space Hulk campaign that I'd played previously. Again, it was never planned, but after that campaign finished with quite a few survivors, maybe about 2/3 of the way through it, I thought I could continue this and do more with it. Take the action to the planet that's mentioned, Kaldronis. And I thought when I was doing it, it rekindled my love for Space Hulk, for just playing it out. And I thought, I've got so many Rogue Trader miniatures that could feature in this, so I thought I could feature some of my old Imperial Guard army that I had, which I'd got and always painted it in all the old retro colours, but to be honest, I'd never played it a lot. I'd played it in a few role plays, but I'd never actually had a game of 40k with it, and they'd most certainly never featured in Space Hulk. But then I discovered that there was fan-made rules for Imperial Guard which were actually pretty good, and they were part of the downloadable content which can be found if you Google the Space Hulk Bible, and it's got great rules in there, some of which have been put together from White Dwarf articles. Others have been made by fans, but they're really, really good. There's Eldar ones, there's ones for other Tyranids, and there's Imperial Guard. So I thought, well, I can include some of them as ground assets that the Inquisitor, which appears at the end of Damnation Eternal, has got in his pocket and uses them as he sees fit. So I thought, they're mentioned at the end of Damnation Eternals, but I thought there's nothing cemented about the actual individual characters. So then I thought I can combine it with a Last Chancers type story. Last Chancers by Gav Thorpe is one of my favourite series for 40k. It's grim, it's gritty, it's full of really unsavoury characters because they're all penal regiment guys, and loads of the characters in it are just pure 40k. Colonel Schaefer is a really despicable, ruthless guy, but the one thing he's got is he leads for the front. He prepares these guys and gets them ready, but he goes on the missions with them. He just doesn't send them to their doom. He goes too. So he's a right tough guy, quite obviously based on Lee Marvin for the Dirty Dozen, as the other Last Chancers are. That's how it seems. And it is an excellent series. So I thought, well, I should go down the route of the first book because I had so many miniatures, and I thought, right, I need a way to whittle these down. As it was an unplanned story, I knew that I couldn't do what I'd done with Damnation Eternal, send all the guys on missions and take weeks and thousands of pictures to get through all the guys. So I thought I'll come up with a plan that will test, in the narrative, it will test each of the characters, the skills that they would need to be a specialist like this. You've got basically your shooting ability, close combat ability, just your basic luck, and your stamina and determination to get the job done. So I thought that's how I'll go, and I'll devise a series of small D6 dictated tests to get through them and whittle them down, because I was determined I wanted to give all the models a chance of becoming one of the hallowed few that would make it to Colonel Schaefer's final selection. So I had the Imperial Guard standard guys, I had Kata-chan, and I also had some converted Arbites, which again, all retro miniatures, but I thought at first I was going to make them Arbites, but then I realised Arbites would be above corruption for the most part. So I made them Palanite Enforcers because I thought that basically they are very, very similar. The only difference is Palanite Enforcers are only found in Necromunda. So I've come up with their backstory for each of them, the so-called crimes that they've committed. The Imperial Guard guys, they were from a retro series of games that I did with my pal Ian, and we had this all planned to do, and it all fell through. I designed all the characters, and we played a couple of games with it, and then life just got in the way, and we never did anything more with it. So what I decided, it'd be really nice, hark back to those days, to take that platoon, whose fate was never determined in any games, and find out what their fate was going to be in the course of these missions, or these tests, shall we say. Again, everything you're about to see is determined by fate. The total journey of the characters is random, down to luck at the time, and because of that, the characters that make it through, it's just the fortune of them that's allowed them to survive. So I would say that don't get too attached to anyone in particular, because you never know when that dice is going to come up for them. So even though it was unexpected, again, I had a great time shooting it, and Gordon actually reached out to Gav and asked if it was okay for us to feature Colonel Schaefer. It said the storyline's like a prequel to the Last Chancellor novels, maybe set about 5 years beforehand. And I knew that the only character that was going to be included was going to be Colonel Schaefer himself. And Gav was absolutely brilliant. He said, yeah, no problems to include him. So when that happened, I thought, this is great. It's the fact is that fans of The Last Chancellors might be attracted to this story, and it potentially could have other viewers because of it. So anyway, join us for The Last Chancellors, Expendable Assets, and see who makes it through to be one of Colonel Schaefer's final selection, the Hallowed Few, or who gives everything up in sacrifice to the Emperor. Thank you very much and enjoy.